Today we're gonna do my September TBR game, which will consist only on duologies. So for this month I will be reading only duologies, and those that I will be reading are going to be decided with the game that we're gonna do here together. But in this board you already see what are the potential duologies that we might see, because I've already broken those down in different moods, let's say. So first we will be going through very briefly all of these duologies that I have here. Then I will be explaining the game, then we'll play, and then we will select the final list of books and I will be explaining those in a little bit more detail. I've added 4 moods into this board: romantic, adventurous, cozy, 5. I've added 5 moods: epic, and then a little bit dark stories. We will be seeing 2 types of books here. You see, all of these are the ones that I've not read, and the ones that are kind of like separated are already the second books in the duology, because I've already read the first one. So as you can see, in cozy I've already read the first one, so I just have second ones to read. But in here I just have this one, and you know, here in epic are all new, and dark it's a little bit of a blend. Does that make sense? Coolio. So in romantic we have 3. We have Dance of Thieves, which is very popular. It's gonna be these 2 kingdoms that are at war, and you know, like one of these kingdoms, the king dies and his son is the one ruling now. There's another kingdom ruled by the queen, and this queen sets a thief to start investigating this heir and this new king. The Bridge Kingdom, which is in theory not a duology, but it seems that the first 2 books are the ones that mainly cover the story of the characters, and then there are companion books within the same world. Also a little bit of 2 kingdoms that are at war. Our girl that it's in one of these kingdoms will start kind of like infiltrating these other kingdoms, start feeding information, but what she will discover is that maybe they are not knowing really what is happening. Then we have the Wildwood duology. This is a Beauty and the Beast retelling, but it's honestly done differently, and we will be covering this girl that it's sacrificed to the forest and she has a little bit of magic. Book 1 I adored, and let's see about book 2. Then we move to Adventurous. The first one is All the Stars and Teeth, which is a sea story, and mainly we'll see a little bit of soft magic, we'll see pirates, and you know, a lot of that vibe. Then Wicked Fox, which is a Korean-inspired duology that will tell the story of our girl that is a little bit of a kitsune, and you know, she will be busted and she will do whatever it takes to solve what happens. Then we have In the Night Garden, which is an Arabian-inspired story, and it's kind of like a retelling of the 1001 Nights, so it's kind of like different stories being told. We Free the Stars, which is book 2 in the Sands of Arabia series. Book 1 is this multiple point of view quest where we follow our girl that has a little bit of a special power founding stuff, and she sets herself on this mission of finding an artifact, but she will be chased down. Then we have Cozy, which potentially the best one here. All of these are second books. So Dragon's Promise is the first one from 6 Crimson Cranes, and this is a story of a girl that gets cursed and she needs to start a quest to break that curse. The Ballad of Never After, which is book 2 in the Once Upon a Broken Heart, is a book that has not yet been released. A world that is very magical, and you know, there's a lot of heartbreak between the main characters. And Venom, Dark and Sweet, which is the second one in the Book of Tea duology. This I absolutely adored. Book 1 is a trials kind of vibe story, but magic is based on tea, namesake, which book 2 from the Fable duology, also a sea vibe story, and it will follow our girl that it's trying to find her space in this pirate world. Then Epic Raybearer, which is the story of a girl with fate and destiny, and she does not want really to commit her fate. Then King of Scars, and it follows Nikolai. Then The Killing Moon, a story following intrigues and magic. It's based on dreams, so amazing. A Song of Wraiths Ruin, which is an African-inspired story that will tell the story of different points of view, advancing through the set of trials. And last but not least,
and I hope you are excited,
we have the dark stories, these violent delights, and it's kind of like a Romeo and a Juliet retelling, but told in Shanghai and with the monsters involved. Our Dark Duet, which is the second book in the Monsters of Verity duology, and it follows two main characters that live in this world where if you commit an act of violence, that violence breeds monsters. So this is the starting board. This is how things start. I will be reading between 8 to 10 books this month. Let's settle for 10, although realistically I might get a little bit less reads done. So let me know down below right now, what are the books that you believe are gonna come up from the game? I really would like at least to read Our Dark Duet because it was really fast paced and I really enjoyed it. I am very thrilled about The Killing Moon, and also I adored Other Level, first book in the Book of Tea saga, so I would like to get into a Venom dark and sweet. Also, I'm very much in the mindset of fantasy romance, so I won't mind at all to read any or the three of them. We'll see. And how the TBR game is going to work, it's really easy. I have 3 different buckets. The first one is to allow us to see, out of the 10 books that we will be reading, what is the proportion of new versus sequels. Then in case we have a new series, we will have a second bucket, which will tell me if I can read just the first one or if I need to read the complete duology. And of course I have the different books here, so it's also going to be very at random. And let's start knowing the proportions. This one. Okay, 60% new and then 40% sequels. That it's not bad, at all. So this means that we will have 4 books for sequels. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Out of those 7, we will select 4, and then the remaining 6 will consist on either the first book or the complete duology. Okay, so this one, All the Stars and Teeth. It is not bad because I do have the first book physical, so it's great. Let's see if I'm to read the first book or the complete duology. Just one book. All the Stars and Teeth will follow the story of this girl that is supposed to be the heir of this island, but in order to be so, she needs to display that she has control over her magic. But when the moment arises, she's not able to master that magic, so she will start this quest of doing whatever it takes to show her people that she has control over this magic. And along the way, she will align herself with another pirate that might have his own agenda. It's supposed to be very plot-driven, very fast, and with beautiful descriptions. Okay, let's continue. We have Our Dark Duet, and these will follow 2 main points of view in this land where violence creates monsters, and there are different types of monsters depending on the amount of violence. This city, it's now divided because these monsters are ruling the land, and part of the city, it's kind of like ruled by this man that it's very powerful and has very much the monsters enslaved, and we will follow the story of his daughter who needs to prove that she is up to the standards of cruelty. We will have the other point of view of this boy that it's one of these monsters, and he lives in the other side of the city where monsters are treated differently, and the story will unfold from there. It's dark but really fast, and I really enjoyed the magic here because this monster is able to kill playing with his violin. So music as magic, something incredible new. Loved it. We continue. Okay, with King of Scars, which is the beginning of a new series. Also, just one book. King of Scars will follow the Grishaverse, but after the events of Shadow and Bone, and we will follow Nikolai, who is one of those characters, and we will see how he is trying to rebuild this land, but something with him, it's not alright. He seems to have a little bit of a dark magic, and so he will start this quest of figuring out what is happening with him, because the war is at its doors and he needs to face it. We continue. For the Throne! Yes! We go to another sequel already, and we'll follow this land that is set real close to this forest that is perpetually in twilight, and in that forest there are monsters that are continuously wanted to kill the people. So there's this wolf there, kind of like ensuring that this does not happen, but in order to keep this wolf satisfied, the people has decided to always sacrifice the second sister to the throne, to the wolf. And the story begins with our girl being that sacrifice. The story though will follow different points of view, not just of this girl that it's sacrificed, but also the one of the sister that remains in the throne. 4 out of 10. Song of Wraiths and Ruin. Let's see if 1 book or 2 books. 2 books. So the whole series, I must confess, it's not really like the one that sparked my curiosity the most, but let's see. And this will follow the story of 2 main characters with very different situations and backgrounds, but they are put together kind of like in the same challenge. We'll follow our guy who is trying to escape his destiny and he needs to win this set of trials. And then we will have our girl that is in a similar position and both will need to find themselves to prove their worth and to potentially kill a lot of people. Venom Dark is sweet! Yes. And this book will follow the story of our girl that it's able to do magic with her tea. But something wrong is happening in this land because some tea that she brewed killed her mom and her sister is going through the same path. She is very ill. So the only choice that our girl has is to gain the favor of the Empress and hopefully ensure that she grants her sister this boon and that she gets healed. But in order to gain her favor, she will need to enroll herself in the set of tournaments. Really loved it. We only have 3 books more to go. The Ballad of Never After. So we're done with the sequels now. This book too, in a Once Upon a Broken Heart, it's embedded in the Carabal world and we will follow 2 main points of view, but these characters are not really as perfect as you would imagine. It's a very magical world and one of these characters is this immortal being that has the curse that whoever he kisses, that person will die. And then we will follow our girl. She will get into the city, she will be very close to the king, and you know, we will mainly see how she passed time through this land and how she meets different people. The charm of this book, for me, the characters are very imperfect. We don't have always the very brave character, but our girl makes mistakes and she is, in essence, human. And 2 more books to go. The Bridge Kingdom. Ooh, yes. So, fantasy romance, all for it. And then 1 or 2 books. 2 books. So the whole series. And with that, we already reached the 10 books. We will have 2 characters that are very different, right? One of them lives in this kingdom reach that no one can really reach. And then we have our girl that lives in this other kingdom and she will need to infiltrate herself to start feeding information on how can people actually defeat this land. But upon arriving, she will discover that things are not as straightforward as it seems. And, you know, it seems that the characters will get closer and the story will unfold from there. I will be reading 2 books of Bridge of Kingdom, For the Throne, in Adventurous, just the first book, All the Stars and Teeth, Cozy, The Ballad of Never After, and Venom Dark and Sweet. Then Epic, Kings of Scars 1, and then Song of Wraiths and Ruin, both books. And in Dark, I will be completing the Monsters of Verity duology with our Dark duet. Let me know down below in the comments what are the books that you will be reading or how does this different books look like to you. And if you love duologies but even more standalones, I will link down below in the description to videos where I shared different standalones also based on moods.